Hello! Today is Tuesday, and a while back on my Tumblr, someone asked me, "Hey Blake, what's your zodiac sign?" I said, "I don't know." And the person who asked the question, who I said I don't know to, was a bit upset that I had implied that astrology is superstitious and self-detrimental and a bunch of bohunky. I think it's fake, I think it's stupid, and I think it's dangerous. And here's a video why. Number one, astrology is fake. This is pretty obvious. Astrology is a pseudoscience about 2,000 years old, based on the idea that planets and stars and celestial objects had the power to control and predict and connect us to the spiritual world. The idea was that these planets were gods, more or less, and that they were the sole, if not sole, primary deciding force in our lives. So when you read your horoscope and it says you're a Pisces and it says you're gonna find love, that dates back to the idea that whatever corresponding god a Pisces is would direct you in a path that was romantic and sensual and intimate. You didn't have any say in what was gonna happen. This was predestined, so just go with the flow. Obviously, the planet Uranus or a star, or Saturn, or moons. Obviously, those aren't Greek gods. Obviously, those aren't deities. Obviously, they're not angels. Obviously, they're not filled with magic fairy dust. Even if that's true, astrology isn't real. I mean, why? Because it picks out, what, like 13 signs? Let's buy into this insane reality that yes, these planets actually do have the ability to control your life. There are billions and billions of celestial objects. If they're all filled with this magic fairy dust that can predict and determine human lives, why do we only decide these 13? What's even more crazy is that when astrology was made up 2,000 years ago, we only really tracked 5 planets. So from its conception 2,000 years ago until now, we've added 8 more. What's even more nuts is that we've discovered billions and billions of planets, and yet still, these 13 that we write about weekly in the newspaper are the only ones that control people. What differentiates the planets from the other ones? Were they sprinkled with magic pixie dust? Is that why they can control your life? Why doesn't Betelgeuse? Or why doesn't one of the numerous exoplanets? Or why doesn't MF 49.7? Why don't those all control your life? And the answer is because it's fake. It's prefabricated. Those are the ones that are convenient, they're the ones that we can see, and so as a result, those are the ones that will determine your life. Number 2, why astrology is stupid. Astrology is stupid because of precession. What precession is the torque on an orbiting object. Think of the way a gyroscope spins. And because the gyroscope isn't perfectly even, there's a bit of wobble on its axis. This bit of wobble doesn't do much. It's not going to throw the planet out of line, but it is going to minutely adjust our view of the horizon, correspondingly making these astrological signs change. And even though it's not going to make years and months flop around, the definitely defined zodiac sign system is rendered essentially useless. Because people who once were Pisces now are, I don't know, a Taurus. I don't know my astrological signs, but I know, given the fact that they have defined days and it doesn't change to match the manipulation of the Earth's view into sky, they can't possibly be accurate. And so really, even if it was true that given your birth date, whatever star was highest in the sky is gonna move your path throughout your entire life, those dates aren't gonna match up with the actual star. And so really, what you're reading in the paper most likely isn't accurate. And that's why astrology is stupid, because it's not even accurate. Even if we ignore the fact that it's highly, highly unlikely that these 13 celestial bodies in a pool of a trillion who just happen to be close to us and recognizable in the sky are the ones that control your life. Even if that was true, the prediction you're reading in the paper doesn't actually match up with your real astrological sign. Thirdly, why astrology is dangerous. I'm not going to say anyone's belief system is inherently wrong. I'm going to say it might not make sense, it might be fake, but you are entitled to believe what you want to. However, I will say, potentially it is dangerous. Not in the way a suicide cult will instruct its members to drive cars full of fertilizer into banks and public buildings, but dangerous in the way that it encourages you to not take control of your life. The planet Jupiter isn't going to get you a job. The Milky Way is not going to help you be happy. What horrifies me about astrology is that it wants people, maybe it doesn't want, but it certainly encourages people to live with the idea that nothing they can do matters. Nothing they can do will create a difference in their life because their choices are inconsequential when juxtaposed against this omnipotent celestial force. It leads to apathy. It leads to laziness. It leads to this understanding that your self-worth is something outside of your own control. And that's a dangerous thing to think. They're planets. We know this. We've done spectrographs. We know these things. There's not a little angel inside of Uranus. Maybe there is.